Hey guys, welcome. Today I'm going to be working on the part 2 of my Storm Siren cosplay, which includes how I made the headdress, her staff, and the costume itself. The first part of this video will be the making of the headpiece. To do that, I have to make a cap that specifically fits my head for all the tentacles and the crown to sit on. We are wrapping our hair up, putting on a wig cap, and duct taping our head so we can get the form of the head. And before we duct tape, we're putting down saran wrap so we don't destroy the wig cap. Once that's done, we're gonna take that and use it as a template to make a foam cap. Once I have the template ready, I cut the template into 4 pieces so that when I shape the foam, it will be easier to use the heat gun and curve it to fit my head properly. And then I glue all the pieces together. I ordered sticky hooks on Amazon to attach the aluminum wire to. Over each piece of wire, I used aluminum foil and squished it onto the wire and tapered the ends so that it had the look of a tentacle. After that, I duct tape around each tentacle to ensure that they wouldn't fall apart. I used the expanding foam and then cut into it to slide pieces of Worbla in it, and then put expanding foam around that. Then once that was all cured, I shaped everything and sanded it so that it was smooth. Quote unquote smooth, because it had that porousy texture to it. After being cut and filed down, I sealed it with Plastidip and painted it. Now moving on to the next piece of the cosplay, which is the making of the staff. This gave me a little bit of trouble because I tried to approach it the same way I made the tentacles on the headdress, but when I turned it right side up, it wasn't able to support its own weight. So I had to use Worbla and foam like the top of the crown, which held up much better. And the same thing with the crown. After it was cut and filed, I sealed it with Plastidip and painted it. Next, we're going to work on the costume bottoms, which are a pair of leggings that cover the heel and extend over the hip and sit upright on their own with a piece of Worbla inside. So I think one of the most frustrating things about working on this particular cosplay was it was only my second cosplay, but on top of that, it seemed like the 4 pieces that I've made, each time I learned how to do one thing and tried to apply it to the next piece, for whatever reason it wouldn't work. And I kept having to adapt my method and change what I was doing. The reason I bring that up is because, as I'm showing you guys what I'm doing here, I tried to use the same concept of making a template that was fitted to my body, like with the headpiece, but with leggings, obviously, to get that custom fit. But so many things were just going wrong, and whether it was because of just frustration, I had to do something different, otherwise I was just gonna quit. So I tried to make a template for the leggings, but I couldn't make it work, so I had to trash that idea. That, and I went through I don't know how many partial rolls of duct tape I have, but it wasn't enough, and I was already taped in, and I could not go to Home Depot like that, so I just decided to say fuck it. I had already waddled my way to the basement in those duct tape pants, and then waddled my ass back upstairs, only to run out of tape again. So I just completely trashed that idea. I ran out of tape and I was pissed. After that, I decided to just use a pair of leggings that I had already to make a cardboard template and try and transfer that over to the new leggings. It mostly worked, but it was a little loose in some areas, so I had to just go back and tighten up mostly the thigh area. After I made 2 of these, I put them face to face, flat on the table, made sure it was relatively smooth, and then I went around and pinned the hip area. The reason I did not pin it all the way down the leg is because it would have made it into a dress, and I need it to be leggings. Then afterwards, I took about a half an hour to try and figure this stupid goddamn motherfucking sewing machine out. Eventually I get it. Eventually. Afterwards, I go back and turn it inside out. No, that's wrong. Is that wrong? I don't know. I don't remember what I did. Ah, there it is. And then afterwards, I pinned down the pant leg. This is the area where it was loose, and that was because the fabric stretches a lot more than the other leggings that I own. So even though the template was right, the material stretches more than the template. After I sewed the legs together, I made sure to leave enough slack where the feet would go so I could sew in a spot for the heels to Velcro underneath. I also left enough space on the hip area to insert the Worbla and shape it and glue it into place. The reason I couldn't sew it in is because the Worbla is too thick for the sewing machine, and it would for sure break my sewing machine. This also acted as a belt that I fastened with Velcro. So the final piece that we're going to be working on is the top, which is a long-sleeved leotard? Is that the one where it's the one where it's like a bathing suit bottom. It like velcros in the coochie area. And since this material is not the right color, I also have dyes so that'll match better. I was going to do a sort of, I guess you could say like a turtleneck, but I was gonna have gills and it ended up not working out, so I just ignore this. I made it, I just couldn't figure out a way how to secure it into the neck without it being annoying as shit. So for the top, I used the same method with the pants, where I had a fitted t-shirt, well, long sleeve shirt, and used that as a template. I had to use a leotard to cut the excess on the bottom and use that as a separate template. So I used 2 templates in one, just so I made sure that I got the shape correct. For the gloves, I just traced out my hands. I was gonna do like a webbing in between, but my dumbass sewed it and then I couldn't turn it inside out, so I had to make it just plain old fingered. That sounds bad. But yeah, I made the gloves detachable because just in case I had to take a shit. After I sewed everything together and inserted a zipper so I could get in and out of it, I dyed everything. And that's pretty much it. And so here it is, put all together, except for my dumbass forgot to put the gloves on. The audio in this video is not that good, so you see me talking, but I'm not saying, I can't really hear what I'm saying, so it's a mystery to the both of us. So I know it's gone for a while, but if you guys like this video and my cute little Sailor Moon poses, give this video a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. Also, click here if you haven't seen the part 1 of this video, which is how I did my makeup. But don't worry, I'll stop the footage before I get fully undressed to save you guys the horror of seeing me without any clothes on. You're welcome.